He shielded the alien princess from the blast and woke to find her people kneeling before him. The orbital station above Kirafor was supposed to be neutral ground. That was why Lieutenant Marcus Hale had agreed to attend the summit as part of the Earth delegation. Humanity was still the newcomer in the wider galactic community, tolerated but not yet trusted, and Marcus had expected nothing more than a week of stiff diplomacy, quiet observation, and the occasional reminder that humans were the least advanced species in the room. What he hadn't expected was the explosion. Beginning. Marcus remembered the taste of recycled station air, the cold gleam of the atrium, and the tension in the voices of ambassadors speaking in 17 languages at once. Then a flicker, something wrong in the crowd. A glimmering device hurled from the balcony. He had no time to think. The object detonated with a crack of sound and light. Shrapnel tore through the chamber like angry stars. Marcus moved before thought could catch up, throwing himself forward, body shielding the slim figure beside him, the alien princess of the Cerati Dominion, a people with translucent skin and silver-bright eyes. He felt metal bite into flesh. Fire seared across his ribs, his arms, his legs. The world went dark.
He thought it was the end.
Instead, he woke. Middle, the awakening. When Marcus opened his eyes, he was no longer in the ruined atrium. He lay on something soft, in a chamber that glowed with a light both natural and artificial. His wounds were gone, stitched with luminous filaments that hummed faintly beneath his skin. He tried to rise, but a chorus of gasps froze him. All around, a dozen figures stood in kneeling postures, heads bowed. At the center was the princess, uninjured, her silver eyes shining not with fear, but something like awe. "You live," she whispered, as if the fact itself carried cosmic weight. "The human survives the shard fire." Marcus blinked. "I've what?" The kneeling figures echoed her words in a strange chant, repeating them as though announcing a prophecy fulfilled. Confused, Marcus struggled upright. "I just shielded you. That's all." Anyone would have done the same. But the princess shook her head. "No one survives shardfire. Not even our strongest. And yet you stood against it. You bled, and you live. Do you not understand what this means?" Marcus didn't. Not yet. But he saw the weight in their eyes. To them, this was no accident. It was a sign. The weight of prophecy. In the days that followed, Marcus learned more than he wanted to. The Cerati had an ancient legend of an outsider who would rise in their darkest hour, surviving the unsurvivable, marked not by birth but by choice. He had not known when he dove over the princess that he was stepping into their myth. Word spread through the Dominion like plasma fire through dry fields. The human soldier who lived. The warrior who caught death in his own flesh and returned. Wherever Marcus walked, heads bowed. Where he spoke, whispers followed. It unnerved him. He wasn't a savior, he told himself. He wasn't chosen. He had just been in the wrong place at the right time, reckless enough to leap. But then came the second attack. Siege of the station. Raiders, emboldened by the failed bombing, struck the orbital station directly. This time, Marcus wasn't merely a shield. He was a leader. The Cerati guards looked to him instinctively, awaiting commands he had no right to give. And yet he gave them. He organized defense lines, rerouted civilians through maintenance ducts, and turned scattered resistance into coordinated defiance. The princess herself fought beside him, her crystalline staff humming with energy as she struck down raiders that broke their lines. For hours, the station shook with fire. Explosions rocked its spine. But they held. Not because Marcus was invincible, but because he refused to yield, and that refusal spread like wildfire. When the raiders finally retreated, they left behind only wreckage and silence. And in that silence, The Cerati knelt once more. "Not just survivor," the princess said, voice low but fierce. "Protector, hunter, chosen." Marcus wanted to argue, to tell them it was madness. But as he looked at the people who'd fought with him, ordinary men and women who'd stood their ground because he did, he realized that belief was a weapon sharper than any blade. And it was aimed directly at him. Middle, between duty and destiny. The weeks after the battle blurred, Marcus became a symbol he never asked to be. The Cerati Senate offered him honors, titles, even command. He refused all but the chance to serve as guardian to the princess, reasoning that if he stayed near her, he might at least control the narrative. But control was an illusion. Everywhere they went, whispers grew. The chosen of Shardfire, the blade bearer, the outsider king. Myths muttered in markets, etched on walls, sung by children. And Marcus began to see changes in himself. The shrapnel scars still glowed faintly at night, humming with an energy no medic could explain. He could move longer without rest, heal faster than before, sense danger moments before it struck. He had survived something no one should survive. And perhaps it had left more than scars. The dark hour. The Dominion's enemies noticed. Where once the Cerati had been fractured and vulnerable, now they rallied around their human guardian. That unity threatened warlords who thrived on division. And so, they came, fleets bristling with weapons, descending upon Kirafor to finish what the raiders had failed to do. The Senate panicked. The princess stood firm. Marcus did neither. He prepared. He trained Cerati militias in human tactics. Guerrilla strikes, layered defenses, the art of feigning weakness to lure an enemy in. He taught them that survival was not just about strength, but stubbornness. "You fight," he told them, standing before thousands, "not because you're invincible, but because you refuse to stop. That's what humans are. That's what you must be now." The words lit fire in their hearts. The Battle of Kirafor. When the enemy fleet arrived, they expected an easy conquest. What they found was a world united, soldiers and civilians alike fighting with the desperation of those who had seen hope embodied in flesh. Marcus led from the front. He tore through enemy lines, glowing scars blazing brighter with each strike. The princess fought beside him, staff and blade weaving together in harmony. For 3 days, the battle raged. And for 3 days, Marcus did not fall. At last, when the enemy flagship burned in orbit and the invaders retreated in defeat, the people of Kirafor erupted in thunderous cries. Not of survival, but of victory. And all of them, every voice, chanted one name. Not Hail, not human, chosen, ending the reluctant legend. When silence finally returned, Marcus stood with the princess on the ruined balcony, overlooking the city. "I didn't want this," he admitted, voice hoarse. "I never asked to be anyone's savior." The princess regarded him with steady eyes. "Do you think legends ask to be born? The fire chooses the blade. The Shardfire chose you, and we, our people, will follow." Marcus looked down at his hands, the faint glow beneath his skin. He thought of the moment he had thrown himself over her, not for prophecy, not for glory, but for instinct. Maybe that was why it mattered. He sighed, half weary, half resolute. "Then I'll carry it. Not because I'm chosen, but because they believe I am." And as the night sky flared with the auroras,